It's that time again, it's time to grab our tools and fix what's broken. Let's save money and do it ourselves. Let's save money and do it ourselves.
Welcome to another Garage Time with Goody. Today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you the factory defect in this 2011, actually it's in most Dodge Avengers, that the back part of the trunk, this third brake light here, and sometimes the spoiler if you have one, what they do is the gaskets around them, they leak and they get water inside of your trunk. In fact, here I'll show you a clip. When it rains, there's going to be water that builds up inside the trunk, and then when you raise the lid, water comes out. In fact, we just had a bad rain here, and I'm going to lift this up so you can see the water, how it comes out. You see it dripping over here. And as you can see, some people on these tabs over here will put a hole on these tabs and the water comes out there. And what we're going to do, we're going to fix that. Look at that right there. So by default, this sticker right here doesn't have a hole. If your trunk feels heavy, that means there's going to be water with inside of your trunk lid. So on each side you need to make a hole here and let the water drain out. If you hear sloshing of water inside of your trunk lid, you can just move it like that and you hear water. What you want to do is you're going to follow the left side of the trunk all the way down to here, and usually there is a piece of adhesive right here, and what you want to do, which I've already done, you can puncture a hole in that. And be careful, because as soon as you do, what will happen is water will drain out of the inside of your trunk. And you can also do the same thing for over here on the right side. There will be another piece of adhesive. You just puncture a hole right here and this piece of adhesive too, and the water will drain out. Now, ideally you want to get this fixed as soon as you can, but if you can't, at least make sure that the water is drained out, and then get it fixed as quickly as you can so that your trunk does not rust. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the trunk, and as you will see, these plastic divots or rivets right here, I'm going to take the liner right here out of the trunk, on the top of the trunk. And what I'm going to do, once this is taken off, I'm going to be using a water hose, and I'm going to use the water hose, and water is going to be sprayed on this trunk while I fit inside, and we're going to be seeing where the water is coming in at. But according to everyone, according to what I've read, it should be coming in where that third brake light is. But I'm going to make sure. So I'm just using this little pry tool here, and I'm taking off all of these right here, these little plastic divots or rivets. I'll even put in the video description where you can get replacement ones in case you break some or you need extra ones. Now, once all of those are off of there, I'm just going to set those in the trunk temporarily. And you want to move all of this out of the way. It just comes down like so. See, I'm gonna set that to the side, out of the way. Now, if you look up here, this is where that third brake light is, right here. So the water should be coming through there, or the water could be coming through here. You see where a lot of this silicone or whatever it is on these bolts, that is another place where the water could be coming through. That is what mounts the spoiler down to the trunk. Okay, with that being said, it is water time. As you can see, looks like it's leaking right there. And right there, up above. The weather stripping is. This right here is if you get trapped in here, you can just pull this and it opens up. I have two 10mm bolts here and here. It's 10mm. And there's a 10mm over here. Then that's going to come off of there. And then you'll see this plastic stand and this plastic stand. You push them in. You push these plastic stands in. Once you push those plastic stands in, it will come out on each side. And you can see right here, and water has been coming through it. You can see how it's wet. It's been dripping through. And then the water goes on each side here, and then it goes into the trunk. It could leak out from the actuator and to the bottom of the trunk here. It's been causing all kinds of problems. To disconnect the wiring harness off the back brake light, you can take a punch or anything like that. This is the clip right here, and I just took a screwdriver and I just push forward a little bit and it disconnects this. Now this third brake light right here, this gasket right here, it does not stop the water. In fact, it's drenched. So I'm going to be putting some weatherproof acrylic caulking through here on this seal, so it will actually seal off and it will prevent the leaking. Then I'm going to reinstall it back on there. So I'm going to be cleaning the surface up here with just a rag and some warm water and soap. So what you want to do, you want to clean the surface all around here where gunk, mud, debris may have got around this. So I'm going to clean it on the inside, around through here. Then I'm going to pull the lid down, and from the outside I'm going to clean it too. Just clean all around this and get it very clean. And then let it dry, because this surface is where the gasket's going to be mating. What I'm going to be doing here, I'm going to be going around this gasket with a bead of acrylic weatherproof acrylic sealant. All right, so now what I'm going to do with that sealant on there, I'm going to put it up into here, and I'm going to pull this down, and I'm going to push this up into here from behind. Make sure this is in here with the plastic. Then you're going to put the 10mm bolts back into place. We're going to do the right one. We're going to hook the wiring harness back up to the brake line until it clicks in. You hear that click. If you see any excess sealant, you can go ahead and wipe that off. Like I've shown you in the video, you can fix this third brake light. That is most of the time where it leaks. It can, however, leak in between these points on the spoiler. If it does that, you can go ahead and take off the spoiler from these bolts here. There's two there, one in the middle, and two over here. Then you would clean the surface of the spoiler, and then you would retighten down the bolts and then put the weather sealant on these bolts like that has already been done here, and then that will stop the leaking from the spoiler. So it could be leaking from the spoiler, but most commonly it's going to be leaking from that third brake light there, and it's located right here. It's located right here on the back of the trunk. Now ultimately on this one, I examined the weather stripping and it wasn't dry rotted, but someone had installed it to where the grooves did not line up and it was flat like this, and water was getting in through the weather stripping also. So I just installed the weather stripping the right way. So again, make sure that your weather stripping is in good shape, that it's not dry rotted, and you can get in the back of the trunk like I did to check that out. Also, you can look for any water coming through the trunk. You can get in the back of the trunk also like I did. So let's go over this real quick again. The third brake light, the spoiler bolt holes, and the weather stripping. Those are the three most common things to cause water in your trunk. And then what we have to do now, since we have sealed the third brake light and I've double checked the spoiler bolts, we just have to put the fabric layer back onto the trunk with the divots. And then we're going to spray some water onto the trunk and see if it leaks. Is to put this back on, and you'll want to put that over the lock actuator, the emergency exit handle. You want to put that right there, and then you'll take then you'll take these plastic dowels or rivets right here, and then you're going to insert them in each of the place that has a hole there. Like I said, if you don't have this part, if you don't have this cover, that's fine. You can buy them online if you want them. If you need any more rivets, I'll put a link to some of those. If you break any of these or you just need some. Also, forgot to mention before you put this back on, you want to make sure it's not leaking, which I've already checked. We have no leaks. And then there you go. It's back on there. And then close the trunk. That is the problem with water being in the trunk of the Dodge Avengers. Smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you later.